Live streaming is on.
Let me double check.
It's on, and we're very nervous. We're not going to say anything. Okay.
No, just double checking. Remember, guys, to also check if we are live properly. Sometimes it's a bit buggy. Okay, I think we are okay. Martin, do you want to?
Sure. Welcome to this Dandelion governance meeting of 22nd of April. We've got a good group of people here again, and we can. I think we can get into the agenda. But I just got a picture from Scott, so I will say.
Oh, no pics.
Show this picture. It's like we're going to make some NFTs for the first Dandelion node operators. So, yeah, we have some artwork from, and the idea is to make some like cards with some information on it. I think I asked for it to be landscape, so it's still portrait because landscape would be better in GameChanger.
Yeah, that was stressed, and that's also in the notes.
So I think we have to do some, but I think the basics is I think very cool already, right? I mean, the idea is that if you have this NFT, you get some extra stuff, the way blockchain runs. So it's a token of our appreciation that you're a part of the Dandelion Light network, and it will maybe also in the future. I don't promise anything. I can't. Maybe we've built a lot of stuff. It goes always slower than you want, but the intention is to have some kind of fun with it. So the blockchain allows you to make NFTs. I think this is an opportunity to do something cool. So we have or Scott contacted an artist and made this picture for this purpose. So does anybody this is outside of the agenda, but we can just do it straight right
Is
away.
there a rare or legendary version of the card, or are those all regulars? What do you call it?
Regulars. This is just this is the normal one, and you will get a special one. The intention is to first agree on a common format. So this is the first one, but they should all be unique pictures. So as you can see, this is one of 8, and everybody will have the same format, but then the picture will be different.
Man, I love it. I don't know whose spirit animal is a lion. I'm not a lion, so I do answer to Mordecus sometimes.
Well, we could make that like a thing. If you have requests, Q, please send me your spirit animal, and maybe we can make it happen.
Well, my spirit animal's been with you this whole time. I'm afraid the fact that you don't realize it's right behind you, that's concerning.
I learned relatively soon, soon that this zodiac signs. What I didn't know is that you could be there is different degrees, and in all my signs, I don't know how that's really explained, but I'm triple lion or triple Leo.
Oh,
So this card is definitely for me.
This is yours, but you don't have a Dandelion light node, so I'm sorry.
You gotta register.
You first have to register. You know where?
We can help you with that.
If you double share it now, I will make sure that I can allocate some time and get that out.
We have a list. Like this is dandelion.m2tech.nl. You can connect with GameChanger, and then you can add your information. So you have your mainnet wallet you can add, and your name and your hardware, and then also your node URLs. So where we can reach you, and we use that URL to do a query. And if you
Is that the only two So I just need HTTP things exposed.
well, we have
More services.
we have several services running, but Adriano can explain it.
No, okay, I was sorry. But basically, it's like the legacy Dandelion service, but this one is packed based on Docker Compose for easy deployability, and it has everything is running behind an proxy. So if you just open that port, offer that port, maybe 2 ports for mainnet, 1 for preprod.
But two ports that run HTTP service or that run something else.
HTTP, of course, plus WebSockets.
That's fine. That's fine then. Okay, the reason why I'm saying is I'm running my own platform as a service thing, and
something like that. Something. Sorry.
That I'm running this platform thing, and for me it's a lot easier to expose services where I don't need to risk my security. So if I can expose an HTTP service behind an Nginx and stuff like that, it's the perfect for me. So, okay, cool.
That's it. Everything works with Docker. It's working with containers and Docker Compose, and everything is being exposed through an proxy. So yeah, Javi, you can run like most of us. You can run at least these 2 networks: the mainnet and the preprod, the pre-production testnet network.
I have plenty of space in my infra, like 100%.
Well, this is great. And well, sure, super welcome, Javi. It will be awesome.
Well,
also,
let me double check because I'm not sure I have 120 gigs.
Also,
you need more.
Yeah, probably you will need
more than 120.
Yeah. Now this is also to continue the dream from Roberto, like to make this Dandelion network grow. So yeah, we're keeping that flame forward, and yeah, that's the. I mean, this is a catch up from you, from all you have been missing lately. How it was with us very early back then, 2022, something like that, right? Right, Javi?
Yeah.
So well, that's yeah.
Yeah, I've just shown you here what is if you deploy Dandelion, you have several services like OpenYOS, token registry, GraphQL coils, and then some other like a REST query service and Unimatrix.
That was basically my concern. If all these services need to be exposed, or the only thing that I need to be exposing is these 2 URLs that you showed me before.
Yeah, because they're exposed over a path. So
but
Cardano and GraphQL.
That's fine. Yeah.
So and then you have access to those services here. So that's how it works.
Okay.
Martin, can I propose maybe let's check the agenda. Let's show any news, but maybe let's give some mic space to especially radio for catching up a bit. Is he doing? and for your findings regarding vacuum,
Yeah.
Oh, we need to check on how I'm doing.
Also,
because Q is already
Sorry.
he was doing fine.
He's a green dot.
Actually, Q is doing pretty good. You see,
we have to do a t-shirt.
this is where I had issues, so I didn't do the query that day. But Q is running pre-production now, so he is on track.
Why I am dead?
I don't know.
By the way, can I share?
The only two nodes that are 25 hours per day online are mine.
I think it could be because of the port thing.
Come on, man. Because the observer point of view is broken, then I
think I need to open ports in my firewall. That would probably solve it. So, but it's all a work in progress, and it's getting better every day.
I'm joking.
What I did today or this morning is what my is running out of disk space pretty quickly. So that would also be interesting for Javi if he wants to run.
If you guys can list me the specs more or less, so I can do my thing, that would be very appreciated.
In the repo.
If I go to the Game Changer Discord, I had some write up about what I discovered was my disk was almost full, and that happened before. So there's something in GraphQL which is just not working very well. Let's have a check. Why am I always losing stuff? Oh, here, troubleshooting.
And are you guys running the nodes like in your own infra, or are you guys like getting a root server somewhere in a data center?
No, we're running our own stuff because that's too expensive.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
Because we're using a lot of compute and some things are not perfect yet. So that would just be out of control expensive.
Yeah.
So we just recently bought Q a server. It was like about $2,000. So we're up in that price range, and we have NVMe drive is the most important, like 2 terabyte NVMe drives. Pretty important because
you bought the rack. No, not like a computer tower, but like a rack.
No, we have towers because they are like some more silent. A rack can be very noisy.
Yeah, and more spicy, I bet. Like more expensive. Yeah.
So we're trying to keep it reasonable and be able to run these nodes on consumer hardware, which is possible. So, but we don't have slow machines. It's like AMD. What's that? 9,000.
95, 9750, I think. So
Or
the 7000 series.
Yeah, but it's the R9. I don't know. It's all. I'm always confused with the numbers. It's like, but yeah, my drive was getting full because Postgres became very large. You can see here. Pre-prod was 500 gigabytes, and then I checked out the table sizes, and the asset table was 499 gigabytes. So after some further investigation, I did a vacuum pull, so that's cleaning up the table of the asset table, and then it returned to a 285 megabytes, not gigabytes. So it was like crazy stuff. But that's all related to the asset table is constructed outside of the whole process by a chain follower, and that is doing a whole lot of stuff, including making a job table, and it's using that to query the token metadata registry on every asset. And every asset is like 1 million now, and maybe in the beginning that was not that much, but it's creating a job on every asset to query if there's something in the token metadata registry. When there's only 400 items in the whole metadata registry, of which 150 are actually in the pre-production network. So you don't need to query, you need to query if there's an asset, or you need to query the token metadata registry updates and then update the multi-asset table. Because if you look for all the assets in the asset table, you're looking way too much. It's like not the best way to do it. So yeah, we vacuumed all that stuff, and now I'm back to normal. So yeah, I think I was using almost 1.8 terabytes, and now I'm back to like 1 terabyte. But writing that whole asset table and doing all that stuff, it creates more, volume than we actually need. I think, GraphQL has been constructed in the beginning of the blockchain, and there's just a new generation coming. But we have to patch it. We have to patch it and make it work so we can, use the last of it in GameChanger and then look for future solutions in what is coming. Where there's lots of interesting new nodes like and new backends that have more knowledge of what the data we need. And a lot of the problem with Cardano is because it's UTXO. We have to compound from zero and aggregate.
Indeed.
So there needs to be solutions, and we need to think about solutions to flatten the table very quickly.
In Identus, we have a similar issue with the Prism node or the Identus node, which is basically responsible of querying a specific metadata label and then recovering the whole history, which is the same issue that you have, but reduced in a million. You have that problem in a much bigger scale. But I completely understand. And one of the team members came up with a solution, which was to rely on nodes to get this, to query other nodes directly for the new blocks. And I'm not sure if that's something that we could explore at some point, or if there's a library already doing that. But yeah, we came up to the same problem.
Yeah, I think we need to, like, for us, it would be interesting if we could make aggregate snapshots or something, like have intermediate stages where you're like, oh, we are adding blocks, but we're only adding blocks not from the beginning, but from somewhere.
From the snapshot, yeah.
So not a snapshot of the database, but a snapshot of aggregates. So there's no reason to count from the beginning. I think right now we're aggregating the whole blockchain for I want to see what's in my wallet. You don't want to aggregate the whole blockchain for that. This makes no sense. And not do it the same work every time. It's not like the number of addresses in use is limited, and the number of addresses is just limited. And if you know even some of that information, you can already flatten something much sooner. So I think that would be part of a solution, but So that's where we were with that. We have like a query to see if the tables are running out of control. We can solve it now with a vacuum full. My recommendation is to shut down every service except Postgres. And we also had this issue with, the wall size, but it could be related to this whole asset stuff. So, but maybe it's also important to do this vacuum full scheduled in a cron job, because Postgres doesn't do that by itself, and it's usually a good idea to clean up the database once in a while. But that's what I've found out. the last couple of days.
There is a theory because Martin and Radio was experiencing the same issue, and they have more. I mean, a much more newer setup than I have, and Roberto has. I think there is probably some frequent writes into these volumes, especially Postgres, is probably generating somehow more size than it should be required. Probably this vacuum, this operation on Postgres is cleaning up some sort of cache leftovers or something that are there, because there is. I am experiencing the exact same issues the guys are. So there is, I think, because also we spotted some snapshotting issues regarding frequent writes. So I don't know. We are still figuring out, but this is not a normal thing. For running the two networks, plus mainnet preprod, plus having some space for backups, for making full snapshots of your Docker volumes with a 2 terabyte M2 drive, we are okay. That's the suggestion from my side.
So
Hey.
say that again. What are your specs to run? You run everything in a single machine, right?
Everything in a single machine, exactly.
Okay, repeat your spec again.
But regarding space, 2 terabytes, M2 drive, M2 MB.
M2, 2 terabytes. Then memory and CPU, more or less.
I am using an Intel. It's a dual CPU motherboard. Those are Intel Xeons. Are outdated. It's a bit outdated hardware, but it's good for price. I mean, it's very cheap.
Okay.
Almost the same setup that Roberto had. I don't know if you remember. I can find you and share you the specs later. Exactly. And regarding memory, I don't remember. I think was like 128 gigabytes of RAM, because I wanted, to have to be okay with RAM consumption. It's a bit big, but I'm running. Remember, most of us are running two networks at the same time. We're talking about 2 Cardano nodes plus all these APIs, all these indexers, databases, cron jobs. I mean, all this stuff per network. So yeah, and also having space for, making backups, maintenance. So yeah, that's we can optimize this further. So you're welcome to just fine tune this to use the lowest specs possible. But these are the maybe the official suggestions at minimum setups. Martin has a better minimum. Mine is very, very minimum. Martin has a better suggestion regarding CPU.
I think we're in a transition period where we're, just like discussed before, we are moving to different APIs across the community. So I think maybe our specs will even be better in future.
They should. Yeah.
Because right now we're doing a lot of work. We're running coils and GraphQL, and GraphQL is not well optimized, or even maybe running badly. So we could. I'm working on some improvements for GraphQL, so we can at least run it in basic form without causing all that job query issues. That would be a nice improvement, but it's still a work in progress. So yeah.
I was rebooting my GraphQL on my note on one of my notes. Yeah. Hey, Q, you wanted to say something? Come on, just interrupt us.
No, I was just holding tight because it's not super important. I had been chatting with Mike Hornan, who runs Able Pool, who now has control of SanchoNet and everything. I invited him to swing by. He's part of the Constitutional Committee, and he's set up ways to create constitutional committees on a multi-sig and rotate or pass the keys to new people, if they're elected in. And I'd like to set up SanchoNet, and that's all. I don't know that he'll join, but I invited him.
Is it? Yeah, there's so many Bjorns, but I'm wondering if it is the same Bjorn that I know from Identus.
No, it's Mike Horn and Mike, Canadian Mike. Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
By the way, I am checking prices in my provider, and to be honest, it's not that bad.
Prices for what?
To get things deployed in my own provider instead of having that at home.
Hey, I would like to talk to you about that eventually, or whatever, because I feel like there's an opportunity for people that want to set it up local. Have a bare metal system is great, but I feel like there might be options for us to onboard more people through, by setting it up for them, deploying it for them. And since you're on Ethereum now, I don't know if you've heard of Pocket Network. They Canadian Mike, yeah. Pocket launched out of Tampa, and they basically set up just relay nodes on Ethereum, and they distributed their token through the node. People had to sign up for a year, and this was during basically the ICO crash in 2017 and 18. So it was a bold, brave, and brilliant move. And I feel like Dandelion could do that if we can find some way to get people to make transactions.
But look, just as an example, 128 gigs, 2 8 GB enterprise. Yeah, it's maybe not SSD, but okay, I see. Let me see if they show better. Like $60-something a month. For not having to take care of that in my own place, for not having to deal with noise, for not having to temperature, security, and all that. So my idea, of course, would be to upgrade my own infrastructure to a bigger service that allows to run the bullshit that I run, plus to allocate 80% of the server for this. And I think I'm paying a little bit less than that. So I think it's doable. Probably Martin or yeah, he probably tell me that I'm stupid, but yeah.
I would never.
At the end of the day, you say you save time and you pay for that. Right? So I think it's fair.
But of course, there's also some funds available to get people up and running. So maybe you can upgrade your system, and you can be part of that process. So yeah, I've just distributed one test ADA to everybody on pre-production to test out that system. So we're later going. Yeah, you're now of richer of one test ADA, but yeah, I've seen some issues where my data is not getting correctly written in my Dandelion governance stuff. Something is not 100% correct. I'm new a little bit to how this dgraph works, so I have to check some stuff, but of course, that's important that it works on when I'm distributing to people. So I have to double check more, but at least now this is all. The distribution with GameChanger, I think, is working. So.
So
Thank you, Martin, for the great work.
for the Dandelion node, I've got my SSL and my DDNet on my domain also, but for some reason the router is not liking the settings, I guess. So afterwards, if one of y'all can help me maybe set that up. I had no issues with the router before or the server network. So it's got to be something related to the DDNS or the pass-through. Anyway, just want to give y'all an update on that.
Okay, Radio. I was saying to you on the chat, like we are worried about this size bomb issue, because it's a bad thing. It's probably wearing out these drives. So
I mean, technically, it's wearing out everybody's drive. Everybody's getting the same issue because, like, I'm already over 100. I'm already over 100 terabytes written, and most drives, most NVMe, like their warranty is based on TBW now instead of mean time before failure, which is old school mechanical drives. So the TBW on the two P&Y drives that I have are 1,200 terabytes written, and so I'm already 100 in, and it hasn't. And that's supposed to be like a 5-year lifespan that TBW is supposed to last, but it'll end up taking maybe 250 days to burn through the warranty threshold.
This is with Martin our main concern. So this is why probably at least, I don't know, focusing maybe on pre-prod for now, with your build, would be, let's try to minimize that until we figure out what's going on. It's not something, we could be introducing an issue, but as far as we understand, is something that has to do with how these APIs work, and we are trying to even collaborate with those projects, finding ways. Martin is doing a great job there to replace parts of these APIs that are doing all these writes and reads.
So we can expect that all this parallel work that Cardano is starting. I think Jaima also started some work with node improvement and all that. We can expect maybe at the end of the year that things are more controlled, right? I would expect this.
Well, it was like when I shut mine down this weekend, it ran for, I don't know, I think it was up for 5 days, 5.5 days, about 5.5 days, something like that. But it still hadn't reached the container size that y'all show as far as what y'all's container sizes are. So it was 5 days for it to even sync the Postgres DB, which was a little baffling also. And it didn't have anything to do with my infrastructure here. So I don't know what the issue was, but it didn't get out of control, I guess is what I'm saying. But it also never really synced up 100% on it.
Can't we start with a snapshot to make onboarding the nodes easier?
Yeah. Part of what we want to do, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We have support for that, but the issue has to do with privacy, with security, because we have full snapshots for all these container volumes, but some of them has some credentials, some passwords, like the database. So we need to figure out like a smart way to export these volumes without exposing these credentials or information that has to do with these credentials. So once we figure out that patch over the volume, the volume backups, we are okay. But yeah, even, I mean, this is important for everybody here. Like, you have full backup and full restore feature on Dandelion Lite for, for doing maintenance and cloning nodes, etc. You have that. Yeah. Hey, Mike, welcome. Thanks for joining, man. How are you?
Good. I won't be staying for long. I have a meeting in 15 minutes. I'm looking at your screen there.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Okay, Martin, maybe we can do some open hours, some sort of live, optional live, or not live, maybe, but regarding helping, node operators to set up. Probably we can schedule that. I don't know, but I don't know. Not every week. Like, if it's needed, that would be great. So we can focus on building, because we're
If from my point of view, if you guys have solved the not solved, but if you guys have wrapped the deployments around Docker Compose, I can translate that Docker Compose into what my platform digests, which is very similar, and then just use it.
There are some scripts, Javi, that are making life easier for people to deploy this. The idea was to actually be independent from scripts, but there are some scripts that probably would be needed. Still, it's possible. I mean, maybe it's not going to be a straightforward path for you. I'm sorry, not today.
No,
But
I could
maybe
probably.
you can help also.
Man, I could probably start by deploying the testnet or the devnet, the easiest one, then get through the hassles that I will probably find, and then scale to something that makes more sense.
Perfect. Love it. Sure. Also, any feedback is super welcome.
Last Friday we did a good session with Quasar to bring him up to get his first blocks in. So yeah, it could be that we schedule it, but yeah, it's also possible that if we find time, we can just get some stuff going. Mainly, what we experience is opening some ports on your firewall to make that HA proxy thing available. That was the most work to find.
But what? Well, as far as I understood, you are exposing things only through an Nginx proxy or something like that, or an ingress, whatever, right? So you do not need to have nothing open apart from HTTP and HTTPS. Or am I wrong?
HA proxy is on port 3081.
Did y'all change it?
So Adriano, this could be different, of course.
Yeah.
You could expose it over port 443, but then you would have to combine everything into one.
I can. Whatever I deploy, I will always put something on top. So for me, run it in the port that you guys want. I will put a 443 port on top, if that makes sense. And if that's not a problem, of course.
The reason about the ports is that about why they are weird by default. Weird, if we can say weird. You can.
We are weird.
I mean, you can adapt the ports as you need, guys. The reason why was shipped by default this way is because it allows you to deploy multiple networks on the same, under the same, we can say, network interface. So then you can grow more, horizontally your setup without dealing with another layer for another proxy to combine all the deployments you have. So each port would map back to one deployment and one specific network. Even you can have multiple pre-pros, multiple mainnets with this setup. So I
Yeah,
like
but man, we are already struggling to get one prod in one server. Like, how do you think?
Yeah,
I'm
but
kidding.
that's the problem. But that's the problem, really, Javi. But that's the problem that if you think, if you design things only thinking on scaling a bit not properly,
Mhm.
then if somebody wants to take that path, it's hell. Actually, we experienced this with Martin at the beginning of the building this repo that was even complicated to run two deployments on the same computer with the same
We all we all had
internal.
we all had the same problems, Adri. Like when in Identus we are planning to provision a new Identus node in production, you still need a couple of days to sync the whole chain, and that's not. If you want to onboard users, they should be all set up in 30 minutes maximum, right? Like nobody's going to be waiting for 3 days for everything to sync up. My opinion, man. And I may be wrong, but
I don't know. But we need to combine the two things. I mean,
Mhm.
we can't left behind anybody. So I'm okay with making this super easy, one click install, as we mentioned some back in. But at the same time, the idea is to allow people to deploy more, more networks, more instances. Maybe it's great for migrations. Like you have, you need to, upgrade your services. Maybe you prepare like a backup, service. You update, then you just switch where you're what you're running behind. um yeah I mean the less hard coded the better. And ports, come on, you can adapt the ports. We're talking about what's being by default on the main branch of the repo. Guys, Martin, I don't know what's next. What's
Game
left?
Changer is next. We're done here.
Oh, okay. It's we need more time always. Okay.
I think we took a little longer. We target 30 minutes. We're way over, but I think we discussed all the items.
I know we can. I mean, come on. Sorry, everybody, don't hate us. We will start a bit later. The Game Changer live. The only thing I want to mention is, so Ratio has this network issue now, and Q is experiencing. I don't know if his sync process stopped, and the chain is growing, so he's looking his number going backwards, which is crazy. It's like on the Tenet movie for him. So
I've noticed that also. It'll drop down a couple of gigs, but I haven't seen anything dramatic as far as dropping.
okay, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with Q. So Martin, also I am saying this to to keep you in the loop. Maybe you know already.
I know, but yeah, I didn't have time to get it was holidays, so we didn't do anything about it.
Sure.
But check logs, see error messages, check ports. Maybe it's a peer-to-peer thing where you need to receive, just like torrent, you need to send as well as receive. If the port's not open, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know.
I think you had to add the port on your side. You had to add mine or approve them or something. So
The weird thing is that you were kind of half.
Yeah, it's
something
very old.
I think something stopped inside. Probably something weird happening. Maybe the disk is full, something like that. So it's unable to write new information, and that's why it stopped. Makes sense regarding this size bomb.
It's possible.
Yeah. So yeah, just throwing ideas. Okay, maybe we can now jump into the the DC line. Okay, guys, I will stop streaming here, and if you want, you can take a coffee break or not.
If you enjoyed the show, please hit pound, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and acquaintances. For
Thank you.
YouTubers.
Yeah, come on. We need more subscribers on
It's
all
free.
our-
You just hit the button, I think.
Yeah, come on. Nobody will charge you for this.